All right, let me put it to you like this, okay? We have this phenomenon, it's beyond a phenomenon in terms of the question that men have for women, which is what value do you bring to my life, or what value do you bring to the table? And it makes me think because we're not getting a clear answer. And I'm going to tell you why we're not getting a clear answer in a minute. But when you are prepared for a test, you don't have a problem answering the questions. But when you're not prepared for the test, you have a problem answering the questions. You might say, I don't know the answer to that. You might say, quit asking me that question. If every time you go somewhere, you're getting asked the same questions that you don't know the answers to, I can see why that's irritating. So you're really telling on yourself as a woman when a man says, what value would you bring to my life? What value do you bring to the table? Instead of you getting frustrated about it, know how to answer it. Wait, but you don't care about knowing how to answer it because you don't really care about what a man needs and what a man is looking for. You don't care about answering that question because you don't really honestly and truthfully like a man. The only thing that you see as a value to a man is the utility of a man. Then you're going to get irritated about that question. But if you actually like men, you actually see working with a man, you actually see growing something with a man, being a man's companion and being a man's helpmate, not only will that question not bother you, you'll want to discover that on your own. And I feel like I'm giving cliff notes here, but this is the correct answer for a wife who's already a wife, because you can't, a lot of women love marriage, but they don't like being a wife. You have to, fellas, and this is for you, you have to find a woman who's already a wife, already moves like a wife, and conducts herself in the total capacity of a wife. Because once she gets actually married to you, if she's not any of those and doesn't exhibit those characteristics, she's going to feel suffocated. And that's why you have the statistics that you have for divorce. Think about that. Heterosexual marriages, 52% of them end in divorce, right? And then of those 52%, 8 out of 10 of the women, 8 out of the 10 divorces are filed by women. Now, all men can't be so bad that women are divorcing them at that alarming rate. Because if you knew that you would open if you jumped out of a plane and you knew it was a 20% chance it would open, 80% chance it won't open, how many people would be lined up to jump out of the plane? I don't think anybody with any common sense would do that. So it's the same thing about marriage. If the divorce rate is as high as it is, and of the height of the divorce, 8 out of 10 women are doing the filings, then why would a woman want to get married? It's because of the perks and the benefits that she can see in marriage. What are those perks and benefits? They're very clear. If she can get a man to take care of to be her daddy. You hear women, a lot of women today talk about being a princess. Well, I don't want to marry my princess. That's like marrying my daughter. I don't want to marry my daughter. My daughter gets things from me, and I have obligation to her without her having to do anything for me. I get that. That's expected. That's the dynamic of a father-daughter relationship. But that's not the dynamic of a queen and a king. The queen is there to help the king. For some of you Bible thumpers out there, go read Proverbs 31, the whole chapter. But really, in particular, you can pick up at chapter 10 and go all the way. I mean, not chapter 10, but verse 10, and you can go all the way through. It describes what a wife is. And a wife, in those scriptures, she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot of things, and more importantly, she's doing a lot of things for the benefit of her husband. You'll hear women say, hey, listen, I'm smart. I can cook. I can clean. I can run your bath water. She could name it all. She could say, I can take care of the children. I can. And the key operative word in there is can. Can doesn't mean that you will, because I need to see some semblance of you doing those things in your life before we get married without being prompt, without me even asking, just an observation. How are you with your nieces and your nephews, your cousins, your siblings, your parents? How are you like that? Are you carrying and conducting yourself in a manner that translates to being a wife? It says a man that finds a wife find a good thing. But it also says who can find her. That means she's rare. And that was during biblical times that was written. We're talking about right now. It's even worse now because we are such a modern society. And over the last 50 or so years, women have changed drastically from where they were to where they are now. Women used to not be able to have bank accounts, purchase homes, get jobs, and now we're in a revolution for them, an evolution for them, where women are actually out here getting jobs, running businesses, making money, this, that, and the other. And all of that is cool. That's well and good. I still think that hurts their femininity because in a world that is masculine, the world is a cold world. You never heard it's a warm world. Okay. When you think of femininity, you think of warmth. When you think of masculinity, you think of cold, right? And what happens when you put cold and warm together? You get the perfect temperature. So a man has to be operating in his masculine energy and a woman has to be operating in her feminine energy. And we're not going to go through the roles, but I'm just talking about the simple question of what value do you bring to the table? What value do you bring to the table? Well, it comes out of two subsidiaries of the value that a woman brings to the table. The first one is companionship. What is a companion? A person who is going to be there to laugh with you, to cry with you, and to experience every range of emotion with you. That's companionship. And to share, to touch, to intercede with one another. That is the power of companionship. So now what is helpmate? It's just what it says. It is helping a man get to where he needs to get to. So do we sit there and say cook and clean? No, a man can pay for somebody to cook and clean for him. That's not the point. Okay. And if he doesn't have a wife or children, he doesn't have that financial responsibility. So he can get to the cooking and get to the cleaning, or he can cook and clean for himself. We're not saying that men aren't just like saying a woman saying I can cook and I can clean for you. Well, a man can cook and clean for himself. And whether you're a man or a woman, if you're a messy person, you're tolerant of your mess. If you're a clean person, you're tolerant of being clean. So a man doesn't need to do that. If a man can't go in there and make himself a 7-course meal, but he can go and he can buy himself something from the store. He can pay a chef. He can go out to eat. If he is going out there and making the money, then that feeding problem is solved. So it can't be cooking and cleaning. Saying that you cook and you clean is like saying hey, I got a car and I got anti-lock brakes and I got power windows. Like, what car can you not buy today that doesn't have anti-lock brakes and power windows? Who rolls their windows down manually on a car that is new? They don't even exist anymore. So the cooking and the cleaning, that should be standard for a man to be able to do, and it should be standard for a woman to be able to do. It just so happens that a woman doing it helps because a man is out in the world and he doesn't have as much time to do it, right? And you say, well, what about the woman that's out there in the world? Okay, well, if you're working out there and he's working out there, we get to the point of what you bring to the table. Whatever skill set you have, if you can cook, you can clean, you're good at computers, you're ambitious, you're smart. I'm just naming things that women are saying that they bring to the table. You save money, you invest money, you're good with languages, all of that other stuff like that. All of those skills mean nothing to a man unless they are bent towards him. So let's go back and review. You cook, you clean, okay, but are you going to cook and clean for him? And are you going to do it consistently? Because if you can cook, but you never cook, well, what's the point in being able to cook? If you can clean, but you don't clean for him, what's the point in featuring that as a value add? If you go out there and you can make good money, but you don't feel like bringing your money, but you don't bring your money home to him and put it towards the things that his vision is for, that you're going to benefit from, well, what good is your money? You can go out there and you can make $150,000, $250,000 with some of your careers. But if you have the mindset of this is my money, then it's just all that's happening for him is the time that you're going out there to spend money, to make money. He doesn't benefit from you being around. You're not around to even have any benefit to him. So you're already taking time away from benefiting him. And then when you come home and you're tired and you don't want to cook and you don't want to clean and you don't want to, fool around or do anything, run his bath water, cater to him, help him with what he's got going on or whatever the case may be, then all you're doing is you're just utilizing him as a crutch to be able to pay bills, to be able to cover your essentials, food, water, shelter, so that you have the ability to be able to maximize everything that you go out and acquire for yourself. Some of you say, hey, look, I need somebody to get my nails done. I need somebody to get my hair done. So what you're saying is, in essence, if a man doesn't pay for those things, like let's just say you're not in a relationship at all, you're just single. Are you going to walk around with your hair undone? Are you going to walk around with your nails undone? No, you're not going to. You going and getting your hair and your nails done is something that you'd have to do whether you're in a relationship or not. You got to be presentable. Because if you're single, you got to take care of yourself. How are you going to get a job or have a career or interact and network with people if your hair is a mess and your nails are a mess? And I ain't even talking about getting fake nails. I'm talking about just making sure your stuff is trimmed, cut, and whatever the case may be. You got to keep your face together, right? Whether it's doing it the modern way, which is throwing globs of makeup on it, or it's doing it the traditional way and you're doing treatments to your makeup. If you're going and getting pampered, if you're going and getting massages and stuff like that, that's so you can feel good. That's not so it benefits the man. Sure, you can sit there and make that claim. But again, if whatever you can do and whatever you can bring or whatever talents that you have or abilities or whatever you want to call it, if you have all of those different types of things, but it's not going to be focused and directed to that man, it doesn't benefit him. Sure, you're intelligent. Sure, you're good at bookkeeping. Sure, you're smart. Sure, you're great at networking. But you don't do anything to network for him. You don't do anything for computers for him. You don't do anything for any of those things. And that's what a wife does. A wife takes her authority and she bends it and submits it under her husband. That's the part about it that I mean about loving marriage but hating being a wife. It takes a special kind of person to take their authority as a woman, to take their talents and abilities as a woman and submit it underneath her husband so that he can be magnified, already bigger than what he is. Yes, do I think a man should cook, clean, take care of himself, wash himself, protect himself, provide for himself, do all of those things for himself? Absolutely. And do I think he need to get in a relationship if he's not skilled at doing those things? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, if he can do all of those things, Neo said it in his song. He said, I'm good all by myself, but like a force when we together. How can we be a force together if all of the abilities and talents you have is bent towards your benefit only, sister? Your interest only, sister. Don't, miss me. I'll take care of the holidays and I'll take care of this. Because at the end of the day, if you and that man break up right now, who would be responsible for all of those things that he takes care of? You. And it's not because, I'm going to take care of these things until I can find a man to do it. A man doesn't have that benefit. Well, a man is a provider and a protector. I don't want to hear that. A human being, an adult, has to make sure that they eat to survive. They have to make sure they drink to survive. They've got to have a roof over their head. They've got to have clothes on their back. They've got to have investments for the future. They've got to have all of these things anyway, whether they're in a relationship or not. And I'm not saying everybody should be married. I'm not. But whether you decide that you want to be married, you are married, or you decide you don't want to be in a relationship now or ever, you still got to make sure that those things are taken care of. So you think when you get in a relationship, all that responsibility shifts onto a man? And you're being delusional by saying that, because 50 years ago, okay, 50, 60 years ago, was it easier on one income or was it harder on one income? It was easier. Back in the 70s, an average house was about $15,000 and the man made about $9,000. You see how close those numbers are? But you want to brag about how your granddaddy took care of everything. Would it be easy if you made $9,000 a year and the house, average house was $15,000? Yeah. Now watch this. What if you decided that you want to look at today? What does the average house cost today? $450,000. Now, is the average man making $375,000, $400,000? No. Man, not even 1% is making that much money. And since that's your standard and you're delusional about the realistic statistics and expectations, all of y'all are fighting for the top 1% of men. And then when they dog you out and they sleep with you and sleep with you and sleep with you and that one and this one and that one, you say all men are dogs. No, you're not even giving yourself 99%, 90%. I'm going to be generous. 90% of the men aren't even visible to you. You're not even looking at them. If they come and try to talk to you, you don't even want to talk to them unless they're showing some symbol or some status of wealth and clout. You don't even want to talk to him. A guy can come up to a woman today, modern day. He can be a decent looking guy. He could have a job. He could have things going for him. He can provide and protect on a basic essential level. And he can come up to a woman and she can sniff basic on him. She can sniff regular on him. And she won't even say hello back to him. She'll keep walking. She won't even give that man the basic level of respect. If somebody comes to you and say, "Hi, excuse me, how you doing? You look very beautiful today." Instead of her saying thank you, she's looking to embarrass him, roll her eyes at him, make a mockery of him. Lord knows if he does it in a public setting and other people are seeing, she'll try to make theater of him. She'll try to really crush his spirit. If you don't get your ugly, man, please. Lying that they got boyfriends, this, that, and the other. But as soon as they see a man that look like he got some motion going, as soon as they see a man that looks like he's got some goals, or he's driving a nice car, or he's wearing nice jewelry, or he's dressed in a nice suit, that's a man's got to do all of that just to get the attention of women that ain't even virtuous. You talking about a woman who's ran through a lot of times. You're talking about a woman who has a ton of makeup on, and it may I add, it looks good, but when she takes that makeup off, it's a whole nother person. I ain't talking about the women. Listen, I can feel like I feel about makeup, but I know women are going to wear it. As long as anything is done in moderation, okay, I don't have a problem with it. She wants to put on a little eyeliner if she wants to. Okay, I get it. It's not my cup of tea, but I ain't mad at it either. If she wants to put on a little bit of lip gloss or she wants to put on some lipstick, okay, I'm not mad about it. But when we look at the origins of what makeup was for, it was for dead people. And that's how a lot of women feel in terms of confidence about their looks. They don't trust their looks out in a public setting when it counts. She needs to lean on makeup. That's a lot of women's thought process. Don't let them lie to you and say, "Oh, I don't need makeup." Okay, if you don't need makeup, then why are you wearing it? That's a simple question. Just like the original question that I asked, what value do you bring to the table? The answer needs to be the anticipation of the man that she is in a relationship with and the execution of whatever he needs, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. If a woman, now I just gave women game. Now, if women go out there, fellas, if women give you that answer, test the theory before you commit your resources and everything. Because at the end of the day, I understand that women are looking for security. I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is when you're leading with that, but you don't understand. A man's only required to cover your core essentials. You're an able-bodied person. You're supposed to elevate him to the next level. So if that guy, you want that guy to make money, telling him to quit what he's doing and go and start a business is not the plan. If you want that man to elevate to the next level, then why don't you be a good steward over the money that he has? For instance, instead of taking his money and going buying red bottoms, Balenciaga, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, or Fendi, Prada, or whatever name brand it is, why don't you have the patience and the stick-to-itiveness to say, hey, listen, I'm going to help multiply this money for my man. Because you see, women are whatever you give them, they're multipliers of. See, women can sit there and they can say, hey, listen, I can tell when a man is cheating on me. I can tell when a man is doing me wrong. But you can't tell when that man is happy. You can't tell when that man is missing something from you. You can't tell when that man needs your physical touch. You can't tell when that man needs words of affirmation from you. You can't tell when that man wants some quality time with you. You can't tell when that man wants to be left alone. You know why? Because your focus, the way you look at a man, is not a man for to be in a relationship with. You're looking at the man for sponsorship purposes. What can I get out of him? A lot of you will stay with a man as long as he's providing everything or the lifestyle that you want. But as soon as he has a hiccup, as soon as he have a financial setback, as soon as he's going through the valleys of his life, guess what you do? You make excuses, or you just abruptly leave him and go find somebody else with your opportunistic, loving self. Men love hard and men love unconditionally. That's their nature. Not all men do that. But if you lined up 100 men, more than 51 of them are going to be that way. Just like not all women are about the way I'm going to describe, but if you lined up 100 of them, more than 51 of them would be the way that I'm about to describe. And what is that? Hypergamous and opportunistic. If they think the grass is greener on the other side, boom, they going. A wife doesn't do that, because a wife is steadfast. A wife stands on business. She stays 10 toes down for what she stands for, through the good and through the bad. And you know what? When something is built on solid ground and not sinking sand, it can withstand the weather. Modern women are fair weather. As long as the conditions are good, I'm down to stay. But as soon as things get real hard, I'm looking for another opportunity. You know the old adage, she's single she's single for the right person. She can be in a whole relationship. Matter of fact, she could be married. But if she is a fair weather woman, she's only in a relationship for the wrong people that approach her. But if the right one approaches her, or one that looks like he got more than what she already got going on, she gonna leave. Listen to the story that you heard about the 6 floors. Floor 1, you got men. Floor 2, you got better men. A woman can find a man on the first floor and be told there's some better men on the second floor, and she'll be non-committal and she'll want to go to the second floor. She can find out that there are even better men on the third floor. She'll be non-committal and she'll go to the third floor. Even better men on the fourth floor. She'll negate the good man on the third floor and she'll go to the fourth floor. The fifth floor, these are the top tier men. Notice I said top tier, meaning it don't get no better. She'll go to that floor. But then she'll find out there's a 6th floor. She won't need to know what's on the next floor. Just the pattern and the way she thinks. She'll think, I can find something even better than perfection, or damn near close to perfection. Let me go to the 6th floor. And she'll get to the 6th floor and there'll be nobody up there. And guess what she'll want to do? She'll want to come back down to the 5th floor. And if ain't nobody checking for her, she'll want to come down to the 4th floor. That's opportunistic. That's like, let me see what everything there is to offer out there. I'll be right back. Let me put you in the friend zone. I want to see everything there is to offer, and then I'll choose the best. So you might be good, my boy, but I need you. You're a good guy. Let me go over here and let me explore some more. Let me run up my body some more. Let me run up my experiences some more. Let me lose more of my value some more, or use my value, not understanding that you use and you lose. So let me use up my value so I can get better and better and better experiences. And then because of my nature, I can't choose. I'm going to discover, I've discovered the best. Now I'll choose the best. And the best is just like, I don't want you, because when I tried to dig for you the first time, you wouldn't commit to me. Then you go, oh Lord, what am I going to do? Nobody on the fifth floor wants me. Hey, I know. I saw some pretty good guys on the fourth floor. Let me go back down there. You go back down to the guy. Hey, listen, I was wondering if we could go out and get some dinner. The guys on the fourth floor, like, you weren't checking for me. You left me for the fifth floor. Yeah, but I mean, we can kick it now. We cool. What do I do? What do I do? You know what? There was a few good guys that I was checking for on the third floor. Let me go to the third floor. They go to the third floor. These guys are already just like the fourth floor and the fifth floor. They done already gave up on you. They done already used you for what you could give them, or whatever the case may be. You used your body and you used your beauty as a bad currency in a bad way. So you used your body to get the experiences and the people that you wanted to be around. You used your body for that, not understanding that the man that you want on any level, he wants someone that everybody hadn't had. And then you try to be quiet about that. You don't want people to, why you need to know about my past? We don't need to know the number of dudes you've been in your past. We can tell by how you act, because you got a pair bonding issue. That's why you left. See, it's just like y'all ridicule women who are virgins who wait, and then they meet a guy and they fall in love and they get attached to that guy. Oh, don't attach yourself to such and such and such. That's actually what a wife is supposed to do. You know, she's supposed to cleave to her husband, just like a husband's supposed to cleave to his wife. But you ruin that, and now you don't have any kind of adhesiveness, and you can't stick to anything or stick to anybody. Now, a man is looking for marriage for one reason and one reason only. He's looking for stability. And stability is like stayability, and you have lost all ability to stay. And so a man feels insecure about doing or building something with you. So what'll end up happening is he's seen so many times that after 5 to 8 years, it's an 80% chance that you're going to file for a divorce. And it's been done by women after women after women. And not all women are like that, but it's been done and done and done. And so you can't, then you call him insecure because he's apprehensive, because the data, the facts, and the statistics tell him what's about to happen. And he might have built something of some substance to himself. Might not be good to anybody else, or it might not be good to everybody else, but he worked hard. He put himself in a position to be able to get whatever he's got and build whatever he has. And then you get upset when he nick cannons and say, I've already built my skyscraper. What do I need to put myself under contract with a woman for her to get mad at me one day and say I'm out of here and take half of what I built? The value of a woman is ability, no doubt. Beauty and ability, but the beauty and the ability and everything in between. And Kevin Samuel said this best. He said, fit, feminine, fertile, cooperative, and I think the fifth one he said was exclusive. Correct me if I'm wrong. But those sound great to me. Those are the things that men look for. Now, some men can't expect all of that because he's not worthy of all of that. I'm going to give you that. But the men that are worthy of that, that's what they want. They want to get as close to a woman that everybody wants, while simultaneously being able to stick his chest out and say, but nobody's had her. When we start talking about your life experiences as a woman, and then we start saying, okay, what are you going to give your husband that you haven't given to anybody else? Like, guys, that's a real thing. What are you going to give your husband that nobody else has gotten from you? You get in relationships and you act like a wife with every man you get involved with. You cooking, You might be cooking, you might be cleaning, you might be pampering him, you might be sexing him, you might be doing the subsidiaries of sex that I don't want to get into. That you know, foreplay. You might be doing all of those different types of things, catering to him, buying him gifts, doing this, doing that, doing the third, letting him do this to you, letting him do that to you, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. Well, see, that's bad, because if you've done everything with the boyfriends that you've been with, you have nothing exclusive to give your husband. Some of you, I'll even go as far as saying some of the things that you've done for your boyfriends, or the dude that treats you like side piece, or your friends with benefits, or whatever the case may be, some of you have done things with them you'll never do with your husband. So now he's working from a deficit. How you gonna let the dude that broke your heart accomplish something with you that your husband can't accomplish with you? I used to do that with my ex-boyfriend. I ain't doing that for my husband. So he gets lesser of you. And the whole stigma about the whole situation is about how women are more attracted to guys that are not good for them, and they are less attractive for guys that are good for them. This guy would have given you the sun, the moon, the stars, and the mountain, or he would have died trying. You'll put that guy on the shelf. You're not attracted to him. You don't want to be bothered with him. You want to say, oh, we can be friends, because you like the things that he does for you, but you want to put it in the friend zone because you can get the boyfriend experience, the husband experience, without the commitment. And he's a fool for doing it for you, because he's sitting back waiting for you to have a vulnerable moment, and then he can capitalize and get what he ultimately wants, which it usually doesn't work out that way. I've had girlfriends that I was friends with when I was a youngin', and I used to be patient. I remember this one girl, I was patient with her. I was a virgin, she was a virgin, and I was like, I like this girl. I want to be with this girl. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this girl, right? But I'm not going to rush her to do anything. I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that, so on and so forth. Didn't matter that she thought I was cute. She put me in the friend zone. So she got all of the perks and benefits. I was there for her when she needed an ear. I was there to hug her. I was there to make her feel safe. When she wanted to have company, when she wanted to go somewhere and have somebody to go with, I did all of those different types of things. And even though I was young and everything like that, and I wasn't into sex, the fact of the matter is she wouldn't even give me a relationship. Never had, never did, and of course never will, because I'm already over it and on. But I'm using that as an experience to just tell you that the men going into the friend zone with a woman is totally not beneficial for a man. It's only beneficial for a woman. Case in point, if we're out and somebody tries to steal her purse, she expects me, without even asking, for me to go chase after that man to go get her purse back. If I say, hey, you ain't my girl, that's going to end our friendship. And I can come back and I can say, but I'm not your man. That's not my job. Women today feel like a man's job is to be a provider. No, his job is to provide for his. You think men are supposed to walk out here and give their lives for a woman just because she's a woman? It's noble if he gives his life for a stranger. I'm not saying that he shouldn't or that he can't, but it should be up to him for him to do it. Women have the expectation that a man right out of the gate are supposed to provide for them, protect them. And how can you protect somebody that won't even listen to you and follow your instructions? Because the way that I'm going to protect you is in a lot of senses, a preventative measure. If I think that there's going to be trouble down the road, I'll say, I don't think it's a good idea for you to go down the road. And if you're sitting there saying, you're not my man, you don't tell me what to do, I'm go wherever I want to, and you go down that road, and all of a sudden something happens and you're in hurt, harm, or in danger's way. Now you pick up the phone with the expectation, you're my friend, you're supposed to want to help me. But as a man, we're saying, but I was trying to help you by telling you it was a bad idea in the first place to go down there. You overrode me, so you didn't want my provisions, you didn't want my protection. So figure it out on your own. I should have never been friends with you. No, you should have gave me the authority to be able to protect you. to be able to provide for you. And why would I protect something and provide something that doesn't belong to me? Oh, see, there you go, being possessive. Listen, men by nature are territorial, and men want to protect what's theirs. No other female in any ethnicity has a problem with feeling like they belong to their men of their ethnicity, except in the black race. Women want to be, you don't hear anywhere else like you hear black women talking about, I'm independent, I'm a boss chick, or whatever other thing that they want to use to describe themselves as being able to stand on their own 2 feet and not need men. But then when stuff breaks down, they have a general expectation that a man's going to come through. General expectation. Oh, he's going to pull up. He's going to come through. If I need him, you know what? Hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm on my way to get my nails done and get my hair done. She has an expectation, a lot of them. Oh, you about to get your hair done and your nails done? Let me cash out you some money. And if he doesn't say that, she goes, well, what do I need him for? He's no good for me. Going back to what I said about sponsorship. These modern women are looking for sponsors. They're not looking for relationships, because relationships actually take investment. Relationships actually take work. And the ones that are in relationships, that want to be in relationships, they want to do those things. I'll give you a case in point. My wife likes her feet rubbed, right? I don't wait for my wife to tell me, hey, can you rub my feet? Nor do I do that with her. Does she do that with me? She comes to me and say, can I rub your feet? Why? Because she wants to rub my feet. Or if I say to her in the middle of the night and I start rubbing her feet, she's not, leave me alone. She's grateful because she loves to have her feet rubbed. So I rub her feet because I want to. And see, here's the thing. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't need to be prompt to do the things you need to do. You really shouldn't be prompt to do the things that you should, that somebody, that you want somebody to do. I want my wife to want me, and I want her to want me without me prompting her, hey, come want me. It's not going to work if it's like that. I'm going to feel like I'm claustrophobic because I gave up all of my options for my wife. So if I'm going to give up all of my options for my wife, and she's saying, like Whitney Houston, I'm every woman, it's all in me, then I don't want to have to prompt her to be the type of woman that I need her to be for me. She should automatically do that. What did I say earlier about what you bring to the table? Anticipation. In order to anticipate something, you have to pay attention. How can you pay attention to someone when you're paying attention to your own goals, your own abilities, and what you can benefit from, what you can do for yourself? See, sponsors aren't paying attention to the ones that are sponsoring them. It allows them to pay more attention to themselves. You say, well, you got to take care of yourself. Who's going to love you? No, in a relationship, you're supposed to look out for him, but he darn sure supposed to look out for you too. Sometimes my wife is making sure, she's so focused and concentrating on making sure that me and the children have something, she might neglect herself in the process. But you know why she doesn't suffer from neglecting herself? Because I see that she neglected herself, and I make sure that I cover that without being told. What is the point of everybody being hungry and she making sure that I and the children get fed, and then she forgets to feed herself? What kind of a man am I if I can see that she forgot to feed herself, so I'm going to feed her? And we've had some lean times where that's happened. But guess what? She feeds us. It's just enough in the kitchen to feed us. Just me and the children. And she makes herself satisfied to go get a sandwich. You know what I'll do? I'll say, nah, let me go ahead and go out and let me go to the store and get something. Let me use my points and let me go and get her. It's lean times right now, but I've got me some points at the gas station. Let me go and get her favorite sandwich. Or let me go and get her favorite sandwich and her drink that I know she likes. That's what you're supposed to do. Because when you're married, it's a selfless thing. You're not looking out for yourself anymore, but you want to be with somebody that's going to look out for you. You want to be with somebody that's looking out for you. Because you know you're going to be locked in to making sure that you're looking for everybody else. My wife is sore, her back hurt. I'm gonna give her a massage. I'm looking at her walking around and she's sitting there hurting. I need to give her a massage. If I don't have time to give her a massage, I'm still feeling the draw to maybe send her to a massage parlor. So when you talk about the roles of a man and the roles of a woman, you have an idea of what their roles are, but really it's whatever your partner needs without the big vision being sacrificed. Why can't we understand that? The big vision, typically, the man is the head of the household, right? And so he's going to have the big vision, right? But if she doesn't want to submit all of her power, all of her energy, and all of her authority to a man for the sake of his vision coming into fruition, she shouldn't even be with that man. I can't do all of that. Oh, you expect me to drop everything that I'm doing? Well, you should be aligned with a man who you have similar values to, and you're wanting to go in the same direction as him. Then the only time it becomes a problem with you submitting to a man is you're submitting to a man that you don't believe in. You're submitting to a man that's not going in the direction that you want to go into. Find someone and see, y'all think, oh, you just want a man to you just want a woman to submit. No, I want my woman to submit. I don't want every woman to submit to me. Every woman doesn't benefit me. Only my woman benefits me. And if I am in a relationship where I have multiple women, then it's those women that are involved with me, whatever kind of relationship you're into. It's got to make sense for everybody. If she's sewing into you, it's just like you sit down and you say, hey, baby, this is my plan. This is my 5-year plan. This is my 10-year plan. She has the authority to say, I don't have 5 years. I don't have 10 years. Now she's got to deal with that if it turns out well for you in 5, 10 years. Because the only thing she would have done is accelerated you getting there or made you more prominent when you arrive. That's where I believe you say a wife is your better half. Go look at Psalms chapter 31. Proverbs chapter 31, and you'll see this woman, that's this virtuous woman, made her husband look so good, made her children proud of her, made her husband proud of her. Y'all don't care about that. Not you modern women. You modern women, you guys are just like, I got a better way of getting there. I'll use you, and then when I finish using you and abusing you and taking you for what you're good for, I'll find a way to leave you and I'll elevate to go to somewhere else. So now when we're sitting here and we're talking about what you bring to the table in summary, that needs to be the answer. The answer is, I'm going to play, this is what the woman needs to say, I'm going to play you as close as I possibly can to anticipate what you need. Because if I can help you in any capacity to get you where your vision has for you to go, that's what I bring to the table to help you do that. If it's something I don't know how to do, I'm willing to learn how to do it so that I can be beneficial for you. And I know that if I help you get where you are going, then I will get ultimately what I want. Not the cheap, shabby shit where you say, hey, I'm going to use you to pay my bills, to pay for my hair, to pay for my nails, my clothes, my accessories. And I'm going to take my own money and I'm going to stay with you as long as I can till I get to the point where I don't really need you anymore. Because that's essentially what's happened from the last 50 or so years. Women didn't have no rights or anything like that. Men that were in power gave them rights and gave them equality and this, that, and the other. And the payback and the thanks is, thanks, man, I don't need you anymore. Do you think that men, if they knew that women were going to turn out that way, if they would have been so eager to help them? Absolutely not. Because who would foster somebody up until their demise? No one. That just doesn't even make sense. But we got tired of women dying giving birth. We made giving birth from a technological standpoint, easier, better, medication, science, advancement. We made the bridges, you know, that go over water and underwater, architecture, power, plumbing. Who enjoys being a plumber? Only a man. A woman don't want to deal with that shit. Literally. Or when we're sitting there and we're talking about oil rigs, dangerous jobs, pest control, crawling in houses, crawling on top of the houses, this, that, and the other. Women can certainly do those jobs, but are they choosing to do those jobs? No. They're choosing jobs that are behind the desk when they do. They're choosing job in hospitality or service. And I'm not mad at them for that. I'm just saying that when given the choice, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So the if a woman is, I'm telling you fellas, and this is for you too, if a woman is not going to be a companion and a helpmate with eager anticipation of you for the purpose of execution for you, she's not a wife. She's no good to be in that role, that category. If she's got an agenda about what she wants to do, and it differentiates, she got an agenda, that's fine, but her agenda should line up with your agenda. Her getting to where she gets to shouldn't hurt you in the process. It should help you in the process. She should acknowledge, I can get where I'm going, but I will get there much more efficiently, and I'll be better off when I get there because of you. That's the only reason she should be interested in choosing you. But if she's doing it from a standpoint of, hey, sponsor me, run, fellas. And if she is in a situation where she's thinking opposite and contrary to that, and she has this selfless mindset, and she's trying to help you get where you're trying to go to, but she has the expectation, listen, once I get where you are trying to go to, I want you to be clear. I want to be clear about this. I feel that's the way I get what I want. Let me help you get what you want, Mr. Man, and that way I'll get what I want. Let me magnify you, and in turn, I want you to enhance me. Because men, real men, will feel compelled for those that he knows cares about him. If you're with a man and you feel like you can help him all you want, and all he's going to do is take whatever he gains and he's going to run, well, that's your judgment right there. You shouldn't want to be with a man like that. Are you getting to know him enough to experience what kind of nature he has about himself? Because I couldn't do that to my wife. I couldn't sit there and get what I wanted and then not want to give my wife and my children what they want or what they need. I'm so grateful because you helped me get where I'm getting to. You don't have to ask me. All right? So I don't really care if this offended you. If it offended you, congratulations. You need to be offended if you think like that as a woman, as a sponsor-led type of relationship. You need to be hurt. I hope it hurt the crap out of you. Change. Or go somewhere and wait until life ends. Go into the wilderness. And I'm saying that just like my Heavenly Father said. These Israelites, they're hard-headed. Even he didn't try to change them. He just sent them into the wilderness for 40 years and let that generation die out. Some of you need to just live the rest of your days. I'm not going to wish anything on you. Live the rest of your days where you can't harm anybody else or whatever the case may be, and you can control and do what you want to do, and then get out of here. Don't try to be involved with everybody else that's righteous and trying to do the right thing and trying to build nuclear families and things like that. Just go off and do your thing. If you're part of the alphabet community, you have your right to be able to do that. You can choose whatever you want to choose, and really, when it comes to your sexuality, that should be private anyway, whether you're heterosexual or not. The world doesn't need to know who you're doing it with and what you're doing. But please don't try to influence our children. Please don't try to. Our children don't need to be knowing about that stuff. As I said before, children of a certain age don't need to be introduced to sexuality. So don't try to impose that on them. When they start coming and asking questions, you tell them these are the choices that you have. And if you believe in the Most High, you say this is what the Most High says about that. Because some of you will say you believe in the Most High and you do something contrary to what he's saying do. And guess what? If that's the case, that's something you're going to have to deal with. You may fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool the Almighty. You can't make rules and change rules. He says, how can you love me if you don't keep my commands? Now, if you don't believe in the Most High, I'm not talking to you, but what I'm saying is any entity that you believe in, any entity that you follow, whether it's spiritual or whether it's in the physical realm, the only way to show that you love them is to respect them, and the only way to respect them is to follow instructions. We can take it from the top. I've said this before, the Most High and me, all right? My relationship to him is to respect him and keep his commands. He doesn't care how I feel about certain things. Certain things he wants me to do, I feel good about it. And certain things he wants me to do, I may not feel so good about it. He wants me to do what he's asking me to do, whether I feel like it or not. And the only chance that he's going to ever cater to my feelings is if I'm in alignment with him. And if we're made in his image, it's the same thing. From the head of the house to the spouse, and from the spouse to the children. Everything that I said about the Most High to man, you can take that same thing and you can apply the same words from the husband to the wife, and the same thing in the same words from the wife to the children. You don't believe in that? You can believe whatever you want to believe. Just get out of the way and stop trying to convince others that your way is better. Go live your life and do what you want to do, but don't poison the water for everybody else because you don't like drinking water. So that's my time. I'm gonna get on out of here. Share this video with somebody if it makes sense to you. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, as I'm gonna be dropping these kind of contents. I'd love for you to join me. What else? Hit the notification bell, so anytime I drop a video, you get notifications. Most of you typically are on the internet with your phone. You'll get a nice notification on your phone that I dropped a video, and you can take a look at it anytime you want without worrying about algorithm. Leave a comment. I'd love to be able to hear what you're saying. Even if you don't agree with me, I'd love to be able to hear that. I'll talk to you. I'll let you know, and we can agree to disagree. But I'm going to base everything that I'm saying on is going to be based on facts, data, and statistics. That's what it's going to be. And we can argue about opinions. Can't really argue about the facts. We just have to align with the facts. Even if we don't like the facts, alignment helps us the best chance of trying to change that. So if you want to change the reality that you live in, you got to own up to that being the reality. If you're in denial of that, you'll never change reality, no matter what you do. You got to acknowledge what it is before you can do something about it. And definitely, if I didn't say this already, like this video. All right. Love you guys. Take care.